So somebody hit me with a very interesting question. Had to do a good chat about something in social media a little while ago. This is something that's not really very well documented or handled, and it's a little bit uncommon. But so here's the story. What do you do if you're a business that has more than one location? This is tough. So back in 2011, there was this thing called Parent-Child Framework. And what that basically did is it allowed you to have one page for your parent company and then several child pages. Anybody in web design knows about parent and child themes and things of that nature, and this was the same thing. So you'd have one for the company and one for each location. It seems to have disappeared. People can't really find it. One company claims that they're one of 8 that are qualified by Facebook to do it, but Facebook has never really had these preferred partners like that, so I don't really get it. Some stories say that you have to have 5 locations or more to use it. Another one says you have to have spent $20,000 on Facebook ads to use it. For the most part, though, it doesn't really seem to exist anywhere anymore. So the answer to this question is there's no real simple way. There is no just put one in and settle your sub-locations off of it. It just doesn't happen that way. So what we need to do is come up with a strategy for every business as an individual. And sometimes you're going to go one way, sometimes you're going to go the other way. And what are our choices? We can do a Facebook page per business, per location, or we can do one aggregate for the company and the brand as a whole. It really, really all depends. Think about it this way. Does it make any sense for McDonald's to have a Facebook page per location? Of course it doesn't. Of course not. But other businesses, it may. And what you have to think about is what we're really trying to do here, right? We're trying to create an audience, a big audience. But more importantly, we're really going after an intentioned audience. Passers-by are great, right? They're going to see these things and they click, they like, they check it out. But we're really looking for those evangelists, the loyalists, the ones that come back, the ones that love our brand so much that they can't shut up about it when they're with us. And we love them. You know, I tell the world when I go to Buffalo Wild Wings every time because I enjoy it. And I check in and I go nuts about the wings and the heat. So this is what people do. This is what we want. Intentioned audiences, not people who just happen upon our brand. Why does that really matter? For a couple of reasons. The most important reason why this matters is because, think about it this way. You know what? Hold that thought. Let's go offline for a minute. I want to take you back to the late 90s for a second. I knew a guy and he owned a pool hall. Right? And he was over here and there was somebody else that owned a pool hall all the way over here. And this guy, his hall was awesome. Everybody went there. This one was a piece of shit. It was always dirty. There were always fights going on. If you went by there, they were either cops. If there were no cops out there, it's because they had just left. Like nobody. It was just a shithole. And basically, everybody from this area would travel all the way down here. So this guy had his market and everybody in between. This one closes down, goes out of business. So what does the owner over here say he's going to do? He's going to buy that building with all the stuff still in it, clean it up, and have that one too. And I said, that is the dumbest thing you could do. You got to think about it. You've got your market and everything in between locked down. But you've got one set of operating costs. Electric bill, tables, maintenance, felt, walls, queues, everything, right? And you've got these people. Now you've got to pay for this building and this building. And your audience gets cut in half. Now you've got twice the expenses and half the patronage. So think about that. Why would you want to split your audience? Why? Think about it this way. There's 3 locations. Pick any business, and there's 3 locations, right? And you've got 900 followers. Use numbers that divide by 3s. You got 900 fans. I'm brand new. I'm about to be 901. But you've made a page for each of them. So you've got 300, 300, and 300 people. So I'm about to be 901. But when I go there and I look, I see 300. I'm about to be 301. That means that I now cannot engage with 66% of the people that like your brand and your business. 2/3 of that people become invisible to me. Think about that. So that means that every time you want to post a picture, you got to do it 3 times. A status, you got to do it 3 times. A deal, you got to do it 3 times. Metrics, you've got to measure by 3. Well, 100 people liked it here, and 100 people liked it here, and 100 people liked this status here. That's 300 people. But wouldn't they have played off of each other? So while there were 100 comments on this status, if those other people had a chance, then we would have had more conversation building off of that. So it becomes exponential, is what happens. So by separating into multiple pages, you're really going to get yourself screwed up. There's another thing that I heard where you've got one Facebook page, but we're feeding in multiple streams, 3 Twitter streams, for example. So this ends up with, multiple streams, multiple channels inbound to one aggregate Facebook page. And here's the problem I have with that. There's a couple of them. One is that on the Twitter side, 'cause remember, even though you should be using Facebook and Twitter, some people use one and some use the other. So the people that are on the Twitter side only suffer that same disjointed, fragmented, confused fate of not knowing which is which. So for the Twitter folks, you just don't want to do that. The other reason why is when it all comes in like this, it ends up being confusing because it's going to look like 3 things feeding in all in one spot. You've got 3 different conversations happening, all coming into one place, and that's going to get very confusing for people. So that's also a bad idea. We don't want to fragment and separate our fans into little pockets, into little pools of people. And think about it from almost, I hate to use this term, but think about it almost from a discrimination standpoint. Why do they get to hear about it and I don't get to hear about it? Only because I happen to live closer to here. And I know it's not truly discrimination. That's not really the point. The point is that you're feeding things out to certain people and not others. Or you go through the work to do everything by 3. And that's a real pain in the ass. But sometimes that is the right move. Almost. So there's a place, a restaurant over here. They have 3 locations, and one's like on a pond, and it looks like very like boathousey, and it's dark wood, and it looks nautical stuff. It's all that kind of thing, right? And it's like a family-oriented joint, nice, good food. It's a great place. They've got another one even closer to where I am that's got off-track betting, and it's more pubby, it's more bar-like. It just attracts a different demographic. Then there's another one that's down the shore somewhere, and I've never been there, but from what I'm told, it's just, beachier, right? It's more outdoorsy, it's more summery, etc. It's all owned by one family. So in all 3, will there be some consistent experiences? Sure. Right? The menus will probably be similar, if not the same. The work ethic, the people they hire, the way they approach situations, the way the management handles things, will all be similar, because it's all getting drilled down from that same point up at the top. Right, the hierarchy of the owners are the same, which they drill down to GMs, down to get it. So all that stuff, that same mentality is going to filter down. However, you're attracting different crowds. So you got 3 locations. How many Facebook pages should you have? Did you say 3? That's not right. You should have 4. I know this sounds crazy, but there are certain things that are as a brand that'll be at that top page, as a brand, as the family name, as the way we do things. That's your customer service with the company as a whole. That's the evangelists, people who've been to all 3 and love all 3. That's where all that magic happens about the brand, the loyalists, the evangelists. Got it? So in each of the 3, what do? We do specials. Right? We do contests, we do pictures, we do events, right? We interact with the regulars. You see the difference there? So at the one that's down over here that's got the off-track betting, that's where we're going to talk about the things that are going on. We got 2-for-1 drafts if you come during the race, whatever. We've got, extend your weekend, the one down the shore, and Monday night we've got special happy hour, people that are hanging out at the beach on Monday. Families. Beat the heat, coming as a family, kids eat free, whatever. Point is that there are certain things about these that make them very, very unique. And you have to approach your unique presence and your unique customer base uniquely. But those all filter up to one brand name, one aggregate, and you need to address that as well. That's the way you handle that. So in a place like McDonald's, and I've had McDonald's in Italy, I've had it in London, I've had it in the United States, right? We've all had McDonald's everywhere, and it's always the same thing. Their Coke tastes only like McDonald's Coke. Their French fries are identical. You know, you have a heart attack and you shit your pants no matter what location you go to. It's all the same. McDonald's and McDonald's and McDonald's. So basically, if you're local and you've got differences, approach it. Another place, there's 2 or 3 locations, and they're the same. Even the layout, they're the same. 50-50. If one place does karaoke, the other place doesn't, and one place does comedians, and one place doesn't, one place does bands, the other place doesn't, you've got a very thing that separates you. If there's really big, delineating factors from one to the other, you might want to approach that separately. But if it's basically just mirror images, just replicas across, just do one and put everybody together. If you have to separate it, though, make sure of one thing. There is that combined aggregate point. Huge, huge, huge. If you need to isolate your audience for special individual things, make sure there's a way to bring them all together. Because you know what? I might want to go to the family joint, but I might want to go bet, do off-track betting on the ponies, or I might want to get happy hour when I'm down the beach. So I need to know about things that are going on with all 3, but I'm going to spend most time with the place that I call my home of that brand. Right? And franchisees, really important for you guys. Same thing as well for the people who sell the franchises, people who buy the franchises. Same thing. It's kind of your own, but it's kind of theirs. You need to have something that that makes you stand out. Unless, of course, you are turnkey, like McDonald's, where you're the same across the board. The more freedom you're given by the brand, the more you're going to need your own page. That's what it comes down to. So you got to look at it carefully. I know I say things that they might think are in conflict. It's hard because it's so unique. So if you think you're in this boat and you're not sure what to do, give us a call. All right, we'll help determine if that's what you need. It's more work, it's more money, so you may not need it. Don't go nuts if you don't have to, but don't not do it if it's really going to help because it's too much work. So it's going to take some figuring. All right, we're here to help, like always. Okay, so think about that. It'll help you do it right. Anything else, we're here to talk. Okay, and it's Monday, which means we'll see you in a couple of days for you're doing it wrong. Okay, see you then.